You are listening to the Eskimo Empire Podcast, a proud member of the Canadian Football Podcast Network.
Welcome to the Empire. It's the Eskimo Empire Podcast.
This is Trevor Harris.
Hey, how you doing? This is number 58, Travis Bond.
This is Christoph Malomba Chimanga.
Hey there, this is your co-host, Kenny Stafford.
Hey, this is Ryan King.
Calvin McCarty.
And you are listening to...
You're listening to the Eskimos Empire.
Listening to the Eskimo Empire Podcast.
The Eskimo Empire Podcast. Hope you guys enjoy listening.
Welcome back to the Turf District for the Eskimo Empire Podcast, and we are a proud member of the Alberta Podcast Network, powered by ATB. I'm Andrew, and joined in the Turf District by my tailgate champions, Superfan Mike.
Champions!
Absolutely.
Sweet!
And Commissioner Kayla.
Yeah, that goes to you, Mike. That title's relinquished from me.
No, you're very good. You were there for most of this last one.
I know. Saturday works
great.
better.
Yes.
So see, you'll be great when you come on for the pre-game, the Labor Day one. Or
Tacos in a bag!
Oh, so exciting.
It's true.
So exciting. You know who else is going to be there?
Tell me who.
Eddie Steele, who is also here tonight.
I will be there.
What an intro.
I will be there.
Excited to have you back, man.
Yeah.
Excited to be here. I love being with you guys.
Thanks for coming down to chat some football with us. We have a few things to talk about
We do.
this week. Not all good, but I think we're going to have to give you the co-host title sooner or later. That's probably gonna, we need to find a good. We'll come up with a good nickname for you. Yeah. I know we talked about a bit about it on the Periscope, but how's work? How's little man? How's life in Edmonton treating you?
Life in Edmonton is treating me very well. It's really good to be back and settling the roots here, getting the family established, getting established with work. Very fortunate just to have the opportunities I've had that have come my way and that have presented themselves. With the business that I'm involved in, it's a chemical maintenance business, and I'm doing some sales with them. And I just have the opportunity to meet a lot of interesting people and develop a lot of good relationships. And I'm really realizing that's what the sales industry is about.
Absolutely.
Is relationships. And, it's been really cool actually getting to meet the people that I've met, and the feedback that I've gotten from people has been awesome. You know what? Honestly, scratch awesome. It's been outstanding. And, funny enough, I'll go into some places and they'll put their hands up and they don't want to see a salesman. They say stop at the door.
Yeah.
But then I talk to them and, break down some barriers, get to know them a little bit, and I'll walk out of there with a sale. And it's so interesting just to talk to people and meet people and be able to have people see the real me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not just your average salesman. I have a pretty good personality to me, and it's pretty neat to be able to come into contact with so many random different people and get to know people and get to understand their backgrounds, because I'm not selling products as much as I'm selling myself.
Right.
So it's really cool to be able to go and show people who I really am and the real Eddie Steele and what I really am about. So I love that aspect, and being back in Edmonton, settling my roots here with the family. Little baby girl on the way. Found out on Wednesday.
That's awesome.
It's been great, getting to see you guys at the football games a couple of weeks back. The Ottawa game, that was really awesome. Being able to come out and enjoy some good food and conversation with you guys, it's been really good. So I'm in a really good place and really enjoying being back in the City of Champions.
Awesome.
Can't say better than that.
No kidding. Now, do you... have you had somebody ask you, like, did you play football, or has the people recognized that you were a football player before?
Yeah, I definitely have had those encounters where people do know who I am, or they've heard of me.
Even if I didn't hear, if you walked in, I might go, you played football, right? Holy crap,
that
dude.
too. You know what I get a lot is, you could still play. You look like you could still play. And I'm so grateful to be able to tell people, you know what, I still could play, but I wanted to go out on my own terms, and it was my decision to end my career when I did and how I did. So that's such a great feeling, is being able to hang them up on your own terms, and
Sure.
so few guys get that opportunity. Sometimes occasionally I do wear the Grey Cup ring to work, and that helps.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, it's
an icebreaker.
I'm not one of those exactly. I'm not one of those guys that goes about it saying, "Here, look at me. I'm a former Grey Cup CFL player, Grey Cup champion." But it's a conversation piece,
Yeah.
and when I go into a place where they see so many salesmen every single day, at least it gives me kind of that one leg up where at least they'll want to talk to me a little bit, and they'll give me their time and give me the opportunity to explain who I am, what I'm there for, what I'm about, and they'll realize I'm not just a generic salesman who's there to take your money and go. I'm there to develop and build a relationship, and they can sense the integrity because I've had that modeled for me. My father, he's been with the business for so long and been very successful in the industry with the same company for 31 years.
Wow.
So I've had that modeled and that laid out in front of me. So I'm just trying to follow his footsteps and go about it the right way, because there's a right way and a wrong way, and I'm learning that. I talk to people and they tell me about they get salesmen in and they're just pressure.
Right.
We want your money and we're going to go and you're never going to hear from us again. But that's not how the business is run per se. You need to establish those relationships. And I want people to know I'm not just in it for the one and done. As I tell them, I'm in it for the long haul, and I want to establish a long-standing relationship and get to know them on a personal level. Forget just me making a sale. I want to get to know about you, and I genuinely have an interest in you. It's not just me taking your money and going. So that's what I really like about the business.
Yeah, and if you need any tips on a swim move, I can help out at the same time.
I appreciate that. I'll compliment the swim with a spin.
Excellent. That's very good. All right. Well, before we get into the Esks news, this week's episode of the Eskimo Empire podcast is brought to you by Taproot Edmonton. It's your source for curiosity-driven coverage of our city, cultivated by the community. So Taproot publishes weekly roundups, and then they send them straight to your email on topics like arts, health innovation, food, tech, many more things. Actually, the media roundup that covers news, events, and updates on media and public relations is actually curated by Linda Huang, who hosts another of the APN podcasts called Don't Call Me a Guru. So you can get her information right from there. Now, you can get one or two of them for free, but if you want more, you can become a Taproot member for as low as $10 a month, and you get informed and learn more every day. And all you have to do is go to taprootedmonton.ca.
That's cool.
It's very neato. Yeah. Now, Esks news. So the Esks released DJ Calhoun again. So he's here, he's not. He's here, he's not.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, at least he's like right on the fence, right? Like, yeah. Next year, he's here.
I don't know. I mean, we were all really excited when he was signed in the first place, and to see him in camp as well, but for whatever, it's a tough roster to crack this year, that's for sure.
You don't say.
I mean, with, the nickel, the Sam linebacker is more of a nickel in this spot, so you've really just got the Mac and the Will linebacker positions, and you're not displacing Larry Dean, and it doesn't look like even Javon Santos-Knox is displacing Diggs.
Right now,
So where are you going to fit?
Yeah. Very true. Very true. Now, one sad bit of news, I guess. Draheim goes to the 6th game.
Yes.
I was hoping it would only be a one-game thing, but
they have nobody on the one game.
That's true.
So it could be that, I mean, we just pulled Calvin off early.
True.
And before that, it was Malumba Chimanga who got pulled off early. So
we say Hakuna Matata.
We do.
That, right? Yeah, exactly. Okay. It means no worries.
Is that what it means?
Yeah, it does.
What a wonderful phrase.
I know. It's wonderful. Yeah.
So I think that they're just putting everybody on the 6th game just in case. If they're going to be longer, the cap implications of having them on that 6, especially with the cap not going up as much as everyone thought, and a lot of people being rumored to be over.
Right.
You're going to see a lot of cap savings done that way.
Yeah, a lot of things moving around there for sure.
Smart.
Now, you said McCarty comes off the 6th game. Offensive line Eric Lofton also drew in this past week.
Yes.
And Bazzi, once again, was the healthy scratch.
Blair Smith also in.
Yeah, I know, which was
great. I mean, his special teams work is outstanding.
Yeah. Blair's and he's a good dude.
Like, he's a great guy.
It's nice to see him getting in there as well. So nice to see a bit of a rotation of getting some of these other guys. I think every week there's those 2-3 guys that they seem to be practice roster coming in, practice roster coming. We'll see.
Somebody qualifies to come off the 6th game this next game.
Oh, somebody.
Very large.
Very large can come off the 6th game this week. The one and only Matt O'Donnell, which
perfect
would be
timing. Essential.
It's got to help the run game.
The rum game.
The rum game.
Cheers.
Wow. What really happens in the locker room?
Exactly.
Everything helps the rum game.
Oh well, last Friday we needed the rum game. Exactly.
Is there a gin game?
Yeah, I wish.
Every game is the gin game.
Yeah, every day is a gin game. Yeah, exactly. All right, let's talk about the game, shall we? Edmonton loses 34-28 against a very good Bomber team. Usually when we talk about losses, we talk about the stuff that was not so good first. So, Eddie, what kind of stood out to you in this game as not the greatest?
The inability to stop the run, and that was what they were game planning to do.
Well, you would think that's what they were game planning to do, because all week that's what they talked about, right?
Yeah, that's what they talked about. You knew what you were going to get, and the reality is the Bombers gave them exactly what they thought they were going to get, and they couldn't stop it. No one man is at fault for that, but it's accumulated effort, and the defense didn't do what they were supposed to do, and that was stop Strevler in the run and stop Harris. I mean, Strevler passed for, 90 yards?
89 yards.
89 yards?
89 yards, yeah. Wow.
Passing throughout his career has not been his strength. We know that he's a strong runner, and we know that he runs the option well. So the reality is the defense wasn't able to do what they needed to do, and that was stop the run, plain and simple.
And you said it obviously isn't on any one guy. Of course, it's on the line as a whole, like with the seven guys
and linebackers.
Yeah, your front seven, right? I know we talked a bit about it on the Periscope, but is it just a matter of being too aggressive? Is it a matter of that? I think we do need to give some credit to the fact that the Bombers' offensive line manhandled a lot of our guys too.
Absolutely. You have to give credit to them because they had a game plan. They came and executed it. Being on the defenses that I've been on in the past, if you know you're playing a running team, you got to hunker down and play the run. And I don't think the Eskimos did a great job of that. You saw a lot of times where defenders were getting upfield when they should have maybe been playing more of for lack of a better word, kind of just a base defense where they should be at the line of scrimmage kind of playing their
more
gap.
Of a contain, right?
Exactly, exactly. But when you're running upfield, you're just giving lanes for the quarterback, running back to run through, and you're just kind of exposing your defense. And you never, as a defense, want to be on different levels. So when one guy is 4 yards in the backfield and the three other linemen are on the line of scrimmage, well, there's a lane to run through between the one guy and the three guys. So, and I saw that a lot. And you know what? Just flat out assignment execution wasn't where it should have been in terms of guys who were playing the quarterback, guys who were playing the running back when the Bombers put them in those option situations. And it's not easy. I'm not sitting here saying it's an easy thing to do, but they should have, I don't want to say been more prepared, but they should have definitely executed better because you knew what you were getting. Strevler is not a lights-out passer. He's not coming in as a Peyton Manning type quarterback where he's passing the ball. Yeah. He is a runner, and you know he's a runner, so you need to play him for his strengths. And unfortunately, they didn't do that.
Yeah, I was really expecting some halftime adjustments because they had ran all over us in the first half. So I figured, okay, well, maybe we'll slow it down in the second. And I didn't think that we would stop them completely. I mean, they are a good team, and that option play with Harris where he can either hand it off or take it himself, you're going to get burned on some of those no matter what. But just the number of times that we got burnt on it was so frustrating.
One of the strongest offensive lines in the league as well.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
For sure.
But you would think that there was going to be a bit more spying, I guess.
Yeah, and to be honest, Strevler did his thing, but I think it should have been more all hands on deck type of a mentality to stop Harris too.
Okay.
Because Strevler had his 90, but then Harris almost had his 90 as well.
Yeah.
If you keep Harris to the total that he had in the first game, 35 yards, they probably win the game.
Sure.
But, I mean, Harris's first touch, he went for, 35 yards?
Yeah.
It was a big one, and you can't let that happen. You got to shut one of them down, if not both. You know the running back's going to get his touches, so why not load up and stop him when he gets his touches? Let the quarterback go off. Most teams aren't going to win if a quarterback's rushing for 90, passing for 80.
Yeah,
true.
So let Strevler get his as much as he wants, and let him take his hits. Because
Exactly.
the quarterback who's
punish
taking
him on
hits.
the other side of the...
As big as Strevler is, he's no Andrew Harris.
No, he isn't. No, and I don't believe that he's Mike Riley. So he can't get hit 40 times and still get back up. What the
R.I.P. Mike.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Yeah, that's pretty. That's not far off. Kayla, what did you find bad in this game other than what we've already talked about?
I know, right? It's really hard.
Yeah.
Just another thing. Again, it's just the flip-floppiness. It's just like they're super tight and then they're not. And usually our defense is like, in my words, sexy.
Right.
And usually get the job done. But this game, it just felt flat. And I'm like, you ain't so sexy tonight. What's going on? Like,
Not so much.
I just... My biggest gripe is I like to go, and I know your whole 3 lies thing, but I like to go and look at the stats and just compare the game to the stats. And I get that's a lie. Like, if you know Mike, you understand. You can say
it's Mark Twain.
It's Mark Twain. That's right, yes.
But Mike likes to quote him all the time, so.
Yeah, he does, yes.
Let's just say it's Mike.
He's a pretty clever fella.
Yeah.
Kind of, yes.
Yeah. So,
Twain, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure. You're pretty smart. Too.
Shush!
Oh, sorry. Carry on.
My goodness.
It's got shushed on my own podcast. Yes.
Duchess.
Got it.
Just looking at the stats, especially on the offense, again, Harris throws 430 again this game, and we have 1 touchdown.
Yeah.
Again, like...
The finish was not there.
It was really... No,
Again.
and that's what's so frustrating is, especially on this game, because the last game, all we did was field goals. And how did we follow up? All field goals until 1 touchdown late in the game that really,
75-yard catch and run by Tavon.
And
Which can I say is the only Eskimo I had in my fantasy. So thank you, Tavon. Okay, go ahead.
I thought you said Tavon. I was like, no, it's Devon.
No, it's Tavon with a T.
Tavon?
Yeah.
Oh, Smith.
Yes.
Sorry. I thought you were talking about Daniels.
No.
Tavares.
That's Tavares,
I know. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's when we get to the good. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'll hold off. I know I always go all off on tangents. I'm all over the place. What else is new?
But you're not wrong, though. I mean, you put that many yards up on the board. How do you have 1 touchdown?
Well, it's frustrating because you almost played the exact same way on the offense in the previous game as you did in this game. Like, you talked about adjustments on the defense. You kind of have to do the same on the offense. If something's not working, then I don't know the playbook. I don't, I don't know Moss's intentions or the coaches or what they're going for. He said that they're playing these, they were studying, playing these plays that they believed in, and then they just weren't executing. I don't have much of an answer because I'm not an expert, but at the same time, it's like, well, as far as I'm aware of, every time Harris goes deep with the ball, it tends to work out more in the positive than it doesn't. So why aren't we throwing more of a deep ball when it's not, the last, 2 minutes of the game, was it?
Yeah, well, they're close. Like, let's give the Bomber secondary some credit, too.
Oh, of course,
they
not taking away them.
As soon as they got inside that 25-yard line.
Sure.
Like, that long pass wasn't there. Although the one that we thought, Tavares, it was in... Even Moss said it in the post game. He said, it's like within a foot of Tavares getting that, and that's a touchdown. And the Bomber defender
made
made
it affected him
brilliant
too, right?
play. Yeah, absolutely.
But if you want to be the best, you have to
Yes.
beat the best. So you either play to the expectations that you have for yourself, or you don't, and they didn't.
Yeah, very true. Super fan.
Well, let's see. We talked about stopping the run. That was not good.
No,
we talked
not
about
good.
red zone production. That isn't good.
Was
So
not
that's
good.
going to leave me with discipline.
Yeah.
Oh, so frustrating.
Yeah.
Let it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, just seeing, again, the penalty numbers are low, but when they're occurring and the type of penalties, just those shouldn't happen.
Well, it's not like they were... I'm not to say that a holding penalty is good, but it's not like they were a holding penalty where you're actually preventing your quarterback from getting smacked, right?
There are good penalties and bad penalties.
Exactly. And but these penalties are...
Childish.
Selfish.
Discipline.
They're discipline penalties.
Yeah. They're after the whistle. That's the part that... those are the ones that drive me the most crazy, is after the whistle.
Right.
Right? Like, it just...
And they're drive killers. Or extenders, if it's
extenders,
the team.
It's just... Yeah, those after the call, after the whistle penalties just drive me batty.
Well, it wasn't even us. Did you see Donnie on the field? I thought he was going to lose his mind.
Who?
Unumba? Donnie?
Oh,
Don Unumba?
yeah.
Holy crap. He was just... He was furious. And I'm like, I feel you. I was... Sorry. I just did what you did to me.
I know. That's
sorry.
Okay. I'm just letting it go.
I'm going to do what you guys all do to each other.
True.
I'm going to say, and this isn't any personal vendetta or anything. I was with the Eskimos with Chris Jones, with Coach Moss's first year. Ever since I had Coach Moss, and to this point, today, in 2019... penalties have been an issue.
Yes.
And I don't know what it comes down to. I always tell people it starts from the top down, and you follow your leader. But I don't know why the Eskimos have dealt with these penalty issues the way they have in such a severe way. You know, we shouldn't be talking about this because last year it was penalties.
Yeah.
The year before was penalties. 2016 it was penalties. Ever since he's come on board as the head man, there has been a penalty issue. I don't know what you have to do to reconcile that, but there has been a penalty issue under Coach Moss. I don't know what needs to change, but the reality is, under his care, this team has had a major issue with penalties, and they need to right that wrong.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Would you be on the seat of benching them a game if there are egregious penalties?
Egregious, there needs to be, I do agree there needs to be a price to pay. I do.
Yeah.
Especially
consequences.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Cavis, how did you get into it?
Cavis with a towel around his neck, foaming at the mouth. Yeah.
Rabies Cavis? Wait a second.
And there wasn't an Ed saying Simeon is never going to play another down for this team.
Yeah.
And then she's starting 2 games later.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, the other thing about Moss-led teams is something you and I were discussing earlier, is there seems to be a mid-season sag for this team.
Yeah.
In 2017, we lost 6 consecutive games in August and September.
After winning 7 and then losing 6 and then
In 2018, we had a 6-game period where we lost 5 and won 1 between, again, end of August and October. There just seems to be that sag here, and it's always around that Labor Day game, right? Either a couple games before and going into Labor Day or whatever. So is this something that's... I mean, there's only 2 seasons that have done it. You can't really have a streak on that, but
this one could have the same
if
thing.
it does the same thing. I mean, we're playing Calgary Hamilton.
You have to be conscious to it.
Yeah, you have to be aware of it, right? Yeah.
And the other thing is, they start talking about they just want to go 1-0, just want to go 1-0 every week. Is it maybe something to let people get up for certain games? I mean, this was a big game. The winner of this, if we would have won by 8 or more, we're in first place.
Yes.
That's a huge game. I mean, you can't tell me you don't get a little more hyped for a playoff game. Like, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
One and done, right?
Yeah.
And it's a turning point.
Yeah.
Now.
Well, could be huge.
And we're going to Labor Day, right? Labor Day is a huge game. It's the second half of the season.
Huge couple of games.
Yeah.
When it gives you an opportunity to win the series.
Yeah.
Because you're more likely to win on the Labor Day rematch, which the Eskimos generally do at home. What we usually lose. But we've already lost in August, so you need to...
You have to sweep now.
You need to. There's just not an option.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, my bad for this one is... the turnstile on the right-hand side of the offensive line. I've been pretty good about not saying a whole lot about Kelly this year because I thought he's played fairly well, but this game was probably
atrocious.
One of the worst. Atrocious is the exact word I would use. Now, Willie Jefferson did eat everybody for lunch at some point.
And not just offensive line. Like,
no.
He punted a single, for God's sake. Come on.
And he knocked out the onside kick that was, I thought, although maybe 2 yards deep, but beautiful kick by White to put it right where Hunter could go up and get it.
Yeah.
And just
up
because
against the 6'6" monstrosity.
6'7" guy, yep.
God, yeah, it was ridiculous. So, but I mean that we talk about the fumble in the first quarter where Harris got hit and the forced fumble. Guess who he went around?
Yeah.
We talk about the interception that turned into a pick six for the Bombers. Guess who that defensive lineman went around and then changed direction, was not pushed out of the way for the lane, and then blocked it and knocked it down. You want to talk about the kick into the end zone. Guess where they came from? Right-hand side. That they're suffering right now. And I'm excited to see Matt O'Donnell back.
Yes.
But I'm excited for... Kelly's got to start playing like he did in those first couple of games where we were like, wow, that's the best game we've seen him play. And this was probably one of the worst.
Not even one of. It was his worst.
Absolutely. Like, it was...
Yeah.
That was a nightmare. And I was infuriated at halftime because I'm like,
you
somebody
don't say.
Take that pylon out of there because he's getting
pylon
center.
I like it.
I was so mad because it's like you cost us 14 points already. Like, just come on.
When Matty O comes back, are they going to play him at tackle or guard?
No, they're going to play him at guard, but there's a possibility that
Does Bond go over then?
I'm wondering if they might do that.
Because Bond did some right tackle
Bond
in
to
camp.
tackle.
Yeah.
Yep.
He did it in camp, and he's done it in practice.
Yeah. And he came in early in the season.
And he's an American, right?
So yeah, I've seen him at tackle, too.
He's a load.
He is a load, and in that sense, I would rather switch and put Matty O at tackle and Bond at guard.
Really?
Keep him at guard.
Yeah. Just my experience with the both of them, having played both of them.
Yeah.
You know, I would rather do that.
I can't say I'd complain about it. Yeah. I mean, I'd be fine with it that way.
Oh, you can never complain when you get 800 pounds on one side of the line. You know?
It's not a bad thing. No. Not a bad thing at all. Yeah.
You got 10 feet between the guys, and
absolutely.
More than 10 feet. And
all right, well, let's talk about some. There was some good things in this game. There was a couple.
Yes.
What stands out good side for you there?
Obviously, Deveris, in the game that he had.
Yeah.
But you know what? And so many people have been talking about, but Trevor, he's playing some pretty good football. He's resilient. He's more resilient this year than I've seen in past years.
Yes.
He really
absolutely.
is. He's it's impressive to see him stand in there and continue to attempt to make plays, even though he's not getting as much help as he'd like from his offensive line.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah. So that was good to see. Obviously, I think all of us would agree Deveris putting up the numbers he put up.
10 catches for 207 yards. Yeah, I'd be okay with that. Yeah, I just need him, and I think if it wasn't for the rain, that one was a touchdown for sure.
I think Deveris would have had 2.
Easily. I'm going to give him 1 for sure.
Yeah.
But because he had that guy well beat, 7 yards out.
Right.
Better? Yeah. 7 yards out on the one, and he was wide open, but the rain just slowed, and he had to slow down to catch the ball.
Right.
But otherwise, if that's on a clear day, he's...
Well, Harris said it slipped, as it came out, it slipped off his thumb.
Oh, okay.
So that was...
He still got it 45, 50 yards down the road. Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, so, I agree on that for sure. Goods for you, Commissioner? Wow.
Just kidding.
That's pretty tough.
I'm not that kidding.
Yeah.
But,
I was just saying, not really kidding.
Well, yeah, and like you were saying with Daniels, and I just want to say activate the multiverse, because apparently there's another bat in town.
Yeah, there's a different bat.
But it's nice to actually see him getting some work done, achieving a lot of yards, especially in this last. I really hope that he goes into Calgary and has that same energy and that same drive, because that is a nice kick in the teeth, if you don't mind my violent.
Yes. Yes, going against
metaphor.
his team.
Yeah,
yes,
metaphor.
I'd be okay with that, because he did not play in the last Battle of Alberta. I don't believe. I think,
he was dressed, but I don't think he
played much. Yeah. So this one, hopefully, he'll be in and doing what he does.
Yep.
So, sincerely, Toot. Go do what you do.
Yeah. Toot toot.
Nice.
I mean, there's
I
positives.
knew you guys would both do it, which is outstanding. Okay, that's kinda, yeah.
There's positives, but I just I'm so exhausted. Just,
Yeah, I get it.
I mean, we did better than last time. That's a pretty dang good positive.
Sure. Yeah, we did that. We did get one touchdown.
Exact. That's hey, one more than last time.
We'll take it.
That's an improvement.
Positive is Sean White has 14 field goals.
I was
going to say.
Yeah, back on track for money.
That was yours, right?
That was my positive.
Yeah.
Sorry to steal
That's
it.
all good. 7 field goals. He did his kickoffs. His punting, I thought, was improved.
Yeah.
His
Oh,
kickoffs
yeah.
are still not great. I mean, his average
But he
was
had-
36 yards.
Well, he had
That
one
one was-
kickoff.
One kickoff was 65 yards.
65. Like
The other one
but
was
it's-
like
the amount of kicking that he's doing, though.
Yeah.
I'll give him a little bit of credit.
I'm hoping he's
Yeah.
getting way more money. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
He's doing,
If only.
field goals and he's doing the
He's
punting.
making
It's
up for all those games where he didn't have to do a whole lot.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
But yeah, 14
His
field
words,
goals
not
in
on- yeah.
2 games.
Yeah.
That's outrageous.
It is.
That's
Yeah,
Sean
it's
White.
ridiculous. Yeah. And I mean, yeah, to go 7 for 7 again.
Twice.
Like that. That's still impressive.
Yes.
You hate that it's 7 field goals, but he hit all 7.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
And
good.
the point after.
Yeah.
kind of
absolutely.
shook off
Impressive,
those
but
other
shame
games.
on the offense.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
Yep.
22 of 28 points out of one guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And he's
yeah.
your kicker. Wait a second. Not
deserve
usually
a
a
medal.
good thing when you say it that
No.
way. But still, good on him.
So I think they said it
Personally-
was what? 43 out of 48, 49 points
Something like that. That's
in 2
ridiculous.
games
That's ridiculous.
from your kicker.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, he really wants to move up those all-time points charts. That's what it is.
And he doesn't fold like a flower like some other kickers.
Yeah,
That's-
some
that's-
do.
Yeah. Oh, you mean like the one that decided to try and get an Oscar in the first half? That was good. Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to throw out some kudos to Tavon Smith because I do think for what he played, I thought for the times he was targeted, I thought he had a good game.
a decent game.
Four catches, 114 yards, obviously.
75
buffered
that
by
was
75 and 1.
Yeah.
But he caught the ball when it came to him.
Yeah.
Needs still working on his down and distance,
Yes.
right? But I thought he did okay, and hey, he got a touchdown, so
Yeah.
let's give
Yeah.
him some kudos for that.
Yeah.
I have one What the Fire tracker that I want to ask you guys about. Did you see when they came off after that Strevler touchdown, after the 2 penalties, did you see Mondo go absolutely
No.
on the
I
sideline?
heard about
Oh,
it.
yeah.
I heard about it, but I didn't
And
see it.
I have not seen Mondo get that heat. I'm sure he gets heated at times, but I have never, like, he almost kicked the bench over, and he was livid. He was yelling at anybody that came near him, and it was just like I think he knew the game was
Yeah,
at hand,
yeah.
and
He knew exactly what that meant.
I hope he never pulls me over for a traffic ticket.
God,
Just
no,
saying.
it scared the hell out of me. Like,
I've seen Mondo like that before. Yeah.
Have
Oh,
you?
I have no doubt you have.
I have seen it a few times. Yeah,
You
a
played
few
right
times.
next to him. I mean,
Yeah, I've seen it a few times. and-
Usually justified I was. What is it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, they knew what they had to do up
Yeah.
front, especially, and I'll speak for the defensive line, and they did not execute.
Right.
And you can't give up the yards that they gave up. You can't give up the big plays that they gave up. I don't want to say it's unacceptable, but it
certainly can't
it's
be
a step
acceptable.
under unacceptable.
Yeah.
It really is. And as a defensive lineman, you got to be licking your chops knowing that you have essentially a one-dimensional quarterback.
Yeah.
And for not even to be able to stop him or limit him with his strength, you just can't get away with that. It's unacceptable.
it was unfortunate that Mike Moore went down during the game.
yes,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
definitely tough. Along with, as we mentioned earlier, having Arjun Colquhoun and
Yes.
Godfrey Onyeka.
Any idea on more status? You
hope
guys
it's a
know?
one-
They usually
man.
don't happen until we see practice.
I
That's
guess
not till
tomorrow's
tomorrow.
day A. Yeah.
You guys are by the bench. Was he walking around?
Not very much.
He was in a
that
boot.
I saw, and then he was in a
Colquhoun,
boot at the
yeah.
end. Oh, Colquhoun was in a boot.
Yeah.
I thought,
Mike Moore, I don't know.
Yeah, Mike Moore. I didn't see him much on the bench in the second half. I think he just was not back out there. So that was not a good sign.
No.
Not a good sign.
Again.
Okay, so I'm going to ask Eddie first, though.
Good.
That Strevler run, though, at the end, like, there was no call on Kwaku.
Sure, should have been.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep,
holding,
there should've
illegal
been a
block,
hold.
I don't care what you call it.
But in the
tripping,
stadium, we can see it. There's a trip on it, and there was a hold.
like, and he would have totally put Strevler down.
Yep.
And he got hauled down, no
No
call.
eye in the sky.
Is it
Game-winning
Bradbury
touchdown, nothing.
calling this game?
No, it wasn't.
No,
it was
Bradbury.
Foxcroft.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Bradbury did
And-
the SAS game.
Yeah.
Was
That's why it lasted so long.
Yeah, man. Seriously, though.
oh, you feel the same as us? That's nice to know. Yeah.
Honestly,
whole
little
league does.
little side note. Just I'm gonna stroll away here for a second.
Please do.
Bradbury, when I was playing with the Ticats in 2012, here in Edmonton, Week 14, when I got my patella tendon tore by Scott Mitchell, illegal hit.
Yeah.
Bradbury was the official on the scene. And I trained at the same gym as him the next few off seasons. It was kind of a specialized gym in Winnipeg where a lot of people go to train. And he came up to me and he's like, "Yeah, you know what? I blew that call. That should have been a penalty. You know, he got you. I remember it vividly. I'm sorry." Came and apologized to me.
Really?
Not that it made anything different. I'm still rehabbing from a torn patella tendon.
Wow.
But it was interesting that he came up and actually remembered and apologized for the non-call that occurred that day. So that's my Al Bradbury story.
Well, it is a pretty specialized gym if it allows the blind. So that's nice.
Well played. Well played.
Very good.
Well played. But my opinion with that play, yeah, for sure, penalty could have been called. Holding, especially. But can't leave it in the ref's hands.
No,
you can't. It should have been a done deal much before that, and there was so many other plays that affected the game.
Yep.
You can't take a penalty. I forget, was that before or after the stupid penalty?
That was right after. Right after
was
the
right.
two stupid penalties.
That was right. Yeah, because
So they
He
moved
went
them
for the
down to
touchdown.
like the 8-yard line, and then
so I
bang,
mean,
and
the
30
stupid
yards in.
penalty.
Yeah.
You don't take that, you're off the field.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're off
They
the
should
field.
have been.
So a game type penalty like that, when it's kind of bang bang happening fast, you can't leave it in the ref's hands. It shouldn't have even been that close to the point where the Eskimos are fighting for a game like that. Again, kudos to the Bombers.
Yes.
Wasn't even their offense that did the Eskimos in as much as their defense, because Eskimos weren't scoring points.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so player of the game, we'll go around this way for who we picked, and then I'll say who won the fan vote. But Superfan, who'd you have?
I picked Devaris Daniels. I thought, 200-plus yards in 10 catches. That's a hell of a game for anybody at any time.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Commissioner?
Well, I'm always the last to answer, so my choices are, this game were limited. But I just went with Mondo. I just think he's just that guy that's, it's very rare for him to have a bad game. I don't think he necessarily had a bad game. I think he had 4 defensive tackles, a sack, and mind my ignorance, but what is an FF and an FS in stats?
Oh, forced fumble.
And
is FF.
What is FS?
FS or FR?
Is it maybe FR?
Fumble recovery.
FR would have been
Recovery.
fumble recovery.
He had one of those two.
Okay.
One of the other. Anyway, so stats aside, though, like I said,
QBS.
Huh?
Yeah, QBS, quarterback sack.
Yeah, that says sack. No one really shined apart from the guys that you already picked to me. Right. But my heart was just saying Mondo, because he is that guy, like, if he goes off for a reason, and you could tell that this games mean something to him, and he takes it very seriously for this craft. Like, I don't even know him personally, but you can tell.
Yeah.
So I had to give it to him. He's very structured. He's very generally on point, and I don't think this game is an exception, even though they were getting a little eaten alive. But he just, to me, stood his ground, and he played that vet kind of style D-line guy.
Yeah,
so
that's fair.
That's
he's
a good
Mondo.
pick. It's a really good point.
Pick. It's a good pick.
You're right, because I did notice him try and take that veteran type role and kind of bring the guys along and show them like the importance of the game that they're in, the slug or not game that they're in.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I hate to say it, player of the game.
Yeah.
And you're never gonna hear it from me ever again.
Yeah.
But Sean White,
Yeah.
a kicker.
Yeah.
A kicker.
I was expecting someone else.
I would say Willie J for the Bombers. I would say that, but we're here on the Eskimo Empire podcast, and we're pro-esques here.
That's right. Yeah.
Willie had a hell of a game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, monster game.
Hell of a game.
Yeah.
He was a player to watch.
That was a career game for him.
Yeah.
Best game he's ever had in the CFL, and I've been a part of almost all of his games, pretty much. So that was pretty cool to see. But Sean White, I mean, you have your kicker put up almost all of your points, especially, and I know we're not talking about the last time the two teams played, but back-to-back games, essentially. Where would the Esks be if he wasn't available?
Right.
You got to
Right.
think of it
Scary
from
to
that
think.
point of view. It is scary to think. It wouldn't have
Greg
even
Hutchins
been a
can do.
game.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have
Yeah.
even been a game if Sean wasn't available, or if something had happened. So they got to be thankful that their kicker is going 7 for 7.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Because not a lot of teams have that fortunate opportunity.
Yeah, that's very true. It's very true. And as I said earlier, I picked Tavon Smith just because I thought he did have a good game. So out on the fan vote, Deveris did win the fan vote, which I mean,
Not
very
surprisingly,
deserving. Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. 200 yards, pretty hard to...
I think it's not that he was more deserving. It's just he's a very visible.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
All of his
Absolutely.
catches were monster.
I mean,
right?
we talked to a lot of people, and they'll say that the offensive guy is usually going to win a lot of fan votes.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, you play defense most of your life. You know that the accolades are often going to
That's what
go
it
to
is.
that.
Hey,
Yeah.
defense wins championships.
Yeah.
Offense puts people's butts
Yeah.
in the
Sells
stands.
tickets.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a really quick break, and we'll come back with our CFPN game preview and this week's pick'ems and fantasy picks.
This is Trevor Harris, and you're listening to the Eskimos Empire Podcast.
You can join the Empire online.
Find us at eskempire.ca.
Check out all the new blogs and then follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
For more history, follow at Esks History on Twitter.
And even more of my picks on Esk Empire Photo.
Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to help the pod grow. Thanks again for listening. Let's get back to the show.
Welcome back. This week we are also brought to you by the ATB's podcast, We Are Alberta, a podcast that focuses on economics and economic storytelling, all about Alberta's history and hidden treasures.
Loving it.
Sounds right up your alley, superfan.
Well, both of us, yeah.
Exactly. Alberta is filled with history. From its people, its landmarks, there are stories that help bring this province to life. Economist Nick Ford hits the road to find out what makes Alberta, Alberta. You can subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, and anywhere pods are generally cast.
Can't wait. I'm going to love that one.
I know. I was waiting for the Esks history to go right into. That would have been a perfect
So there
next
you go.
week.
Next week.
That's right.
I've got one ready for next week.
Perfect. All right, let's talk about Labor Day. Pretty much the biggest regular season game of every year. Of course,
And
Calgary
fast.
is coming off the bye week, and the Esks are in, just ahead in the standings at this moment of Calgary, which we don't usually get.
Not at this time of year, no.
No. So a huge game to say the least. Eddie, you've played in a number of both Battle of Alberta,
In all three.
but also the
Battle
other
of Ontario.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Yeah.
and
All three.
yeah,
Go
all
back,
three.
yeah.
What is it about Labor Day? Like, and do you just is there something different when you get to that game?
Certainly there is something different. I remember as a young pup in the league, you didn't totally grasp how important Labor Day was, because it's just another game, kind of, so to speak. But as you get older and you realize what the standings, and you realize, unfortunately to say, how the real season does begin after Labor Day. I know most fans won't want to hear that because they're paying money to see you play and compete every game. But the reality is the Labor Day games kind of set the tone for the back half of the season. And they're special, important, fun games. They really are.
Sure.
For most, other than the Saskatchewan and Winnipeg, they're a battle for the province and who kind of has the bragging rights for the province. Unfortunately, the Esks over the years, and even when I was playing with them, haven't had the success on Labor Day. It's hard to go into Calgary and beat them.
absolutely.
It is. It's funny because last year with the Riders, we had some good success going into Calgary. We kind of, I don't want to say we had their number, but we went into Calgary and we really put it on them.
Right.
And I don't know if that's a Chris Jones thing or whatnot, but that was one of my first times in not just pro but college where I went into McMahon and had the type of success that I had. Because even with the Bisons, UFC, they're predominantly dominant at home.
Are great.
Yeah. They are. Yeah. So it's a tough place to go in and win. I'll be honest, in probably 11, 12 years of playing games at McMahon, I've only won once, maybe twice.
Yeah.
Really?
Wow.
2015, we won the October game.
Yeah,
Right.
we won.
Yeah.
So that would be
But not
two.
Labor Day.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
the two games
That was
because
a good game.
2015 and then last year with
Yeah.
the Riders. That would be it. Never won there in college and never would won there in my pro career up until 2015.
Wow.
And again, 2015, I'm not a total pro Jones advocate, but that was a Chris Jones coach team.
Yeah, of course.
And
It was a good
he
team.
knows how to kind of lessen the impact of a Bo Levi and I'm having a brain
Like
fart.
guys like Eric Rogers.
Head coach.
Huffnagel?
No, I was going to say
Dickinson.
Huff. Dickinson.
Dickinson.
Oh, Dickinson,
I
yeah.
was going to say Craig, but Dave Dickinson.
Yeah.
He knows how to kind of mitigate how potent their offenses
Sure.
can be because Bo and Dave, they're quite a tandem head coach quarterback.
Yeah, no kidding.
So I don't want to put too much on Chris Jones and give him all the praise, but he does definitely do a good job with mitigating their impact. But Labor Day's a huge game. It's a huge game. It's kind of the tone setter.
When was the last time we won on Labor Day in Calgary?
I have no friggin' clue.
2011.
Good lord.
Hey, we can beat Montreal.
That's true. They hadn't
13
won there in 10 years.
10? Was it 10 or 13?
It was a decade. Yeah.
A decade, yeah. And they did it.
2009.
They just did it.
That was actually the Uncle BD stats moment. I think we'll be 1-9 in the last 10 Labor Day games.
Correct. Yeah.
1-9, yeah.
It's like
Wow.
yeah, 7 consecutive losses or whatever it is. Like it's not a good scene usually for Eskimo fans. We still go down and cheer though.
Of course.
It's wonderful.
The thing with the Labor Day too is it's the early afternoon game.
Yeah.
And man, Calgary, past few years, they've come out in those black uniforms.
Yeah.
And they get one or two big plays early, and you're on that sideline, and it's like, oh, crap, here we go again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's literally the mentality.
Sure.
It's like, here we go again.
Yeah.
And once they get those couple big plays early, it seems like they just run it up. I
Right.
don't know what
Wow.
it is, but... And that horse is just galloping behind you. And
Hate that.
Stupid rabbit thing.
hate it. Oh, the rabbit? Yeah. There always seems to be a jackrabbit. Yeah.
Animal abuse. I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
That's for
Jokes.
yeah, that's a joke.
Jokes.
So we got it. If am I right? Did you? Was that the first game that you played both sides of the ball? Was that the one where you had
Yeah.
to switch over and
Yeah,
play offensive line?
That was.
That's
yeah.
what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Last year's
Yeah,
game,
that was
though,
my
was really
first
tight,
start.
was it not?
Yeah. What's that?
Last year's
Yeah.
Labor Day game was quite tight,
It
wasn't
was,
it?
It was
wasn't it?
tight, but
Yeah.
yeah, we still.
Well, we lost. I know, yeah,
And
of
we
course,
won
yeah.
the rematch. Yeah.
yeah, we won in the rematch.
Yeah.
So,
Generally
but this week
speaking, that's
we
what
need to win
happens.
both.
Gotta
Exactly.
get that win
Gotta go.
down in Calgary.
Well,
get it.
Bo Levi's still out, right?
Yeah.
Well, they haven't. No,
He's
they
on the
haven't-
sixth game.
Yeah, he's on the 6th game, but they haven't ruled him out of the game as of yet. So
Okay.
practice won't start until Wednesday, Thursday, really this week for the Stampeders.
So I probably won't know
coming off
until
a bye.
Sunday.
Yeah, we won't. Yeah,
Yeah.
coming off a
Coming off
bye
a bye.
into Labor Day. Ay, it's not fair. Anyway,
He might be rusty.
Arbuckle, though, I hate to say it, you guys
He's
might
done
hate
well.
me, but he's done well.
Oh, yes.
You know, Same with Dane Evans and Hamilton.
Yeah.
These
And
not to
Fajardo.
the same degree,
And
but definitely
Fajardo.
Yeah,
I would
Fajardo's
give it more to...
outstanding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, for
There's
sure.
a
to
lot of
Fajardo.
younger guys, right? Vernon Adams in Montreal.
Absolutely.
That are starting
good
to be
for the
this
league.
next generation.
It's good for
phenomenal
the league.
Exactly.
Yeah, love
Exactly.
seeing it. Love seeing
So
it.
that's the question. Is this going to be the last year? I mean, if Fajardo's contract is up, do they keep him and maybe have Bo go somewhere else? Way cheaper.
You mean if Arbuckle's
Arbuckle, sorry.
contract is up? Yeah.
Did he only sign a
Who knows?
1 year?
Bo signed 2, I thought.
Bo signed a 2 or 3 year,
Yeah, I thought it was 2,
or
but
maybe
yeah.
even 4.
Just like Mike Riley, though, that 2 year has taken up a fifth of the cap.
Yeah.
That's it's gonna 4 40 facts. Anyway, 41, I think it is. No, that's ridiculous. It's dumb. We're talking about our game. Let's not talk about that. All right, so it's our CFPN game preview. This week, of course, we welcome back our favorite pod villain. It is the one and only Ryan from the Horsemen podcast. How you doing, man?
I'm doing really well. It's interesting you always refer to me as the villain, because I'm very confident that the Stampeders are the heroes in this rivalry. And so, that would make me the hero of this particular interaction. I'm just meeting with the villain to find out about his evil plan before he tries to institute it and fail. That's how it seems to me, anyway.
Well, all villains think that they're heroes for some reason. So that's why you believe that, and that's fine. You're allowed to believe it. But I think if we went across the league, I think most people would say, I have the right description. So I think we're okay with that. So tell us what's going on in Stampeders world. They've had a bye week. Are we going to see Bo this week? What's going on as we get ready for the Labor Day game?
Well, the Stampeders don't practice again until Wednesday, so we won't know until Wednesday how we see Bo Levi Mitchell's feeling. Although, like I said, he's gone back on the 6th game, so no guarantees that he'll play in this Labor Day back-to-back matchup. At this point, he'll play when he's healthy, and all the Stampeders need to do is make the playoffs and hope Bo is healthy for those playoffs to have another good run at the Grey Cup. So, another 15 days between games will certainly help. But at this point, no word yet, and don't expect to see word until later this week about the health status of Bo Mitchell.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's kind of hard for us to kind of get ahead of everything because we record this obviously early in the week, and then our game isn't for a whole other week. So many things can happen in between. But I mean, it's not like Arbuckle has been struggling. He's done very well. So I think going into this basically rematch, because we've already had a game, which was kind of weird that we had that happen. But here we are again playing in Calgary. Do you see the game basically playing out the same, or do you think that there has been changes on both sides of the ball that will make this game a little bit different?
I mean, I obviously see it as going the same, which was, the Eskimos couldn't do much in the first half, and Calgary took a while to get their offense going as well. The Eskimos have a stout defense, and so do the Stampeders. So I see a similar type game coming down to it. I mean, obviously, it got a little closer than I liked last time with that last gasp attempt into the end zone there. So, do I see a similar type game where both defenses ball out? I do, but maybe not a game that's so close. We know that Calgary likes to perform on Labor Day. They know that this is the biggest regular season game of the year. For a long time around here, it didn't matter that we didn't win the Grey Cup as long as we beat the Eskimos on Labor Day, and the crowd always kind of rallies through that as well. So I expect it to be a bit of a Donnybrook. There's been some fists flying at recent games for our teams, and I expect to see no different tomorrow or on Monday.
Well, and I think we can both say that both fan bases believe that every officiating person is against them. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out in this particular game. Like you said, especially with the emotions running high, to say the least. Is there?
Well, I mean, if it takes 45 seconds to call a non-touchdown a touchdown again, I'm going to go maddening insane, because I have still, and I've been looking, I have still not found any angle that suggested that Montreal made it into the end zone on that Vernon Adams Jr. sneak. And if you look at most of the offensive linemen, they're also outside of the end zone when the referee whistles touchdown. So 45 seconds after the play, I might add, it took that long to say touchdown. And I'm not a referee. I've never been a referee, but I have been a coach. And let me tell you, you can see standing on the sideline right away whether a guy has moved enough to break the plane or not on a short yardage situation. So the fact that there was no immediate touchdown call and it took almost a full minute of time before they called a touchdown means that he was never in the end zone in the first place. But I digress.
Yes, you do, and I knew you would, and that's okay.
I'm totally over it, as you can tell.
Totally, yeah, absolutely.
Totally
sounds like you've gone through your therapy sessions. You're completely healed. It's perfect.
Yeah. That's one stolen from us by the officials, and 2 special teams losses. So my 8-1 Stampeders are looking just fine.
All right, wow, you're amazing at doing the spin. I do give you credit for that. Who do you think's going to have the big game on the Stampeder side of the ball this week?
I think after Reggie Bagleton had 4 touchdowns against the Red Blacks, I might think that a little more attention might be paid in his way. As a result, I think that opens the door for Eric Rogers. One of the reasons why Reggie Bagleton has been so successful this year is because teams have keyed on Eric Rogers and done everything they could to take him out of the game, which allows Nick Arbuckle to find other receivers, and Bagleton was the big beneficiary of that next week. I think when you put up a 4-touchdown performance, that forces the defense to respect you and pay more attention to you, and the more attention they pay to Reggie Bagleton, the better it is for Eric Rogers. So I'm going to say that Eric Rogers has the big Labor Day game this year and is the guy that you should keep an eye on.
That's a safe bet. I'm sure he's landing in a great number of people's fantasy lineups this week. Okay, so the last question is then, what do you think the Stampeders have to do, or what is the game keys for them to win against the Eskimos on Labor Day?
Don't give up special teams touchdowns, and don't put it in the hands of the referees. If you leave you leave both of those things to chance, then you're going to run into a problem. But if you can prevent the Eskimos from scoring on a kick return, which apparently the Eskimos do themselves, according to one Joe Balaneski, if you can keep that from happening, then I think the Stampeders should be just fine. If you can make it our offense versus your defense battle, I think that the Stampeders come away winners in that. When you look at who the Eskimos have beaten this year, it's not exactly a murderer's row with wins over BC and Toronto and almost nobody else. So at that point, the questions have to come about what the Eskimos actually are, and I think the Stampeders, even with Nick Arbuckle at the helm, are a better team top to bottom.
Well, I will give you points for not just saying show up like you usually do every year. So it's good to break from a little bit of tradition. I do appreciate that. And as always, I'm excited to come down and spend some time with you guys at the tailgate prior to the game. Tell everyone where they can catch up with the Horsemen and get the episodes as we head into the Labor Day game.
Of course, you can look in anywhere where you can get podcasts. You can find Horsemen Radio. That's Horsemen, plural, M-E-N. Horsemen Radio is where you can find it. You can also find us online on Instagram or Twitter at CFL_Horsemen, or you can just follow me, and I'll be tweeting all the show links as they happen as well. And I'm BB Ken Ryan on both Twitter and Instagram. You can follow me there and check out what's going on with the Stampeders as they prepare to lay their annual whipping on the Eskimos.
There it is. I knew it was coming. I do appreciate it. Thanks for joining us as always, man. And I guess I will see you in about a week's time.
Can't wait to see you. It's going to be a great day. It's going to be a great game. And hopefully God loves football as much as we do and will give us a good weather day and put a bit of a track meet on the field and get one of those decent games where we're looking at about a 65-22 final.
For the Eskimos, absolutely. I 100% agree. Because as always, I wish you the best of luck mid-September.
Yeah, this isn't Bizarro World. It's going to be the Stamps for the win, and it'll start their back half roll through the CFL, which is inevitable at this time of year as the Stampeders look to secure the West Final and the West Division title.
I love having you on. Thanks for coming on, man.
Pleasure, man. Talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you, Ryan. That was outstanding as always. And of course, follow and listen to all of the great shows on the CFPN at cfpodnetwork.ca. Now let's talk about the Eskimos side. What are the keys to victory to finally taking down the Stampeders on Labor Day? Let's start with you, Eddie.
Execution offensively. I mean, not just offensively, as a team. I mean, pretty generic answer, but coming off the game that the S just had against Winnipeg, offensively it is a focus. They need to execute, finish their drives. Keyword is finish,
yes.
not with field goals. Defensively, you're going against Nick Arbuckle, backup quarterback who has been playing well. But you got to just continue to play your game. I think the line of scrimmage, me being a lineman, I'm somewhat biased, but you need to come out and establish yourselves defensively.
Yeah.
You can't let the Stamps come out running and allow them to get into play action sets, and that just opens things up for Arbuckle in this, against the secondary. So those are probably my two keys. You asked for one, I'll give you two. But establish a line of scrimmage defensively and finish drives offensively.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Commissioner?
I was going to say that touchdowns would help. But I'm going to go on the side of really taking advantage of the field and getting good field position. Special teams step up. We need to get...
you mean our meh teams? Those ones?
Yeah.
Not so special?
Yeah.
Sure. Those guys.
Except for Sean White. Sean White's amazing.
Well, yes. Let's specify on the return. Like,
teams.
We need to get some return yards a little, past the 40, especially the 50, maybe even get a return touchdown. We really have to step on that field and own it.
How many years again, Superfan? How many years since we've had one of those?
2015.
Yeah. Oh, God. Anyway, okay. I hope you're right. I hope you're right.
Well, no, but that's going to give you the advantage of actually getting the field position to maybe get into the end zone and not just kick all the time. So I'm going to give it to special teams, and I'm really, for myself, counting on you guys to get into the good field position and own that field when you're on it.
Nice. Love it. Superfan?
I'm going to sort of echo what I said earlier about the bad of the game, and that's discipline.
Yes.
We have to be disciplined.
Huge in this game, too.
I mean, I don't mind as much when you take some penalties that are in the game penalties, but after the whistle stuff, the discipline penalties where you're doing things that are hurting your team and are avoidable.
Yeah.
They've got to be cleaned up.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it's going to take, but
garbage on the
we're going to
field.
have to be as clean as we possibly can to win this game in Calgary.
Yep. Totally agree. I'm going to piggyback a little bit on what Eddie said and just saying that we need to contain Jackson.
Yeah.
He's back. He's playing with that edge. He's cutting around people like crazy. We need to be able to stop the run at some point. And the last few weeks we've been paying for it. So it's time to shut down that run. And if that means that we're not getting as many sacks,
So
I'm actually okay with that.
Yeah.
Just find a way to contain the run and actually give that offense a chance to be back on the field. I think it's huge.
All in the name of a win.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And the fact of the matter is, Calgary can't score if their offense is sitting on the sidelines and our offense is on the field. So let's win time of possession and go from there. Absolutely. Which player would you keep an eye on this game? I'll start with you this time, Superfan.
Well, I'll be watching both tackles in this game.
Really?
I'm not sure who's going to be playing tackle for us.
No, I'm not sure either.
At this point, on either side, really.
That's a good point, yeah.
Now, I think Kelly's still going to be playing, but I don't know if they're going to stick with a raw rookie in there. They've got a pretty solid line right now in Calgary.
Yep.
They got some dangerous players on that line, and I'm sure that Saxelot has learned a lot from that last game.
Yeah.
If he hasn't woken up screaming a few times in the middle of the night. That was a trial by fire.
Yeah.
But
he didn't do horribly.
He didn't do horribly. No, again.
He didn't do, for a rookie.
For a rookie at the left tackle spot.
Like, really? Like,
the learning experience.
Yeah.
But, I mean, getting some continuity on this line would be really nice right now.
Yeah, that would be very nice. Yeah, less injuries, yeah. Well, and return of Matty hopefully helps with that, too.
Yeah, whether he plays guard or tackle.
Yeah, absolutely. Kayla?
Well, I'll just keep the string on the special teams and go with Mr. CJ and not the Gable, but the Jones.
Yes, Christian Jones.
Yeah, and just really hope that he takes advantage of the field and gets at least closer to a return touchdown. I'm not going to get... You don't have to get it this time, but maybe get closer to, because I know you were there when we got that touchdown and they came back for a return and took it back like 30 seconds later. That hurt. I want revenge.
All right. Sounds good.
And I will go with Mr. CJ the Gable.
Ah.
All right.
Yeah.
The other CJ.
Yes, I think he will be very important in the game. Calgary's DBs, their secondary, they play really well. So you can't just drop back and pass. I think you need to get into short yardage situations, 2nd and 5, 2nd and 6s, and then it allows you to add the play action to your game too, where Trevor can take his shots. If you're passing, out of 2nd and 10, their DBs, they jump everything. If you watch the games, they play really well. So if you can get into 2nd and mediums, allow CJ to get off a little bit, I think that CJ Gable to get off a little bit, I think that'll be very important.
I wasn't sure if that's what you were correcting, so I was really snickering for a moment to say somebody get off it. Anyway,
let him to get off a little bit, and I think he will. I'm predicting he goes for over 80 yards, and that's going to help the offense.
And didn't he do he did very well in Calgary last game?
He
did he
okay
not?
The last game, absolutely.
And more in the second half.
Yes.
He elevated
which is very
his,
typical, though.
It is.
It's just her first half is body blows, and in the second half you start throwing the knockout punches. Right?
True.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to go right along with what I said with the key of the game, and I'm going to be watching Larry Dean this game. He needs to start being that spy and shutting down that running game, controlling those linebackers to make sure that running game is not going crazy on us.
Right.
I think if we can hold off on the running game, we're more likely to. I don't think we can't shut down the passing game entirely. I mean, we've got Eric Rogers that we're playing against. We've got Reggie Bagleton that scored 4 touchdowns against Montreal. So it's not going to be easy on either way, but I think we need to make a message that the run game is not going to continue to damage us. So I'm going to be watching Larry Dean this game.
I do have a question for you guys, a little off topic. What's going on with Santos Knox? I saw he got 6 game twice.
He did, yeah. Now, he was coming off of an ankle injury, I believe it was.
It was late last year.
Yes, late last year.
Okay.
And
is it broken?
So... No, I don't think
because he was supposed to be a crucial member of this linebacker corps.
Absolutely, yeah. Now, Vontae Diggs has played very well.
Yes, he has.
Other than he needs to control his emotions a touch.
But he owned that.
He did.
Came on Twitter and
he did, and his penalty was not really. I mean, it was a little bit. I don't want to go so far as to say coincidental, but I mean, he leaned in. Trevor went down at the same time, helmet to helmet. It's a penalty, yes, but it's
the reaction that
it wasn't to get up and push the guy. Yeah, he wasn't, So, so he's played pretty well, which is nice. But we keep waiting to see Santos Knox too.
I think that the cap also plays a part.
Yeah,
Santos Knox did not come cheap.
No,
I mean he came off a great season. Had he not been injured, there's talk he would be down south, and certainly would have been an all-star last year.
Yep.
So that's not cheap. And if we're as tight to the cap as many people are saying, we need to save money somewhere. And the fact that you have a raw rookie in Diggs who's not going to be that expensive.
Doing very well.
And he's been playing well.
Yeah.
It allows us to have that flexibility to say, okay, no, we want you to be 100%, so you just stay on that 6th game until you're ready to go.
Yeah, definitely.
And Sir Vincent, wasn't he at practice?
Well, he has been,
doing
but he hasn't been practicing.
He hasn't been practicing?
But
he's at practice coaching, basically, but he's not playing.
I was
yet.
misinformed.
Yeah, so he wouldn't be for another
couple of games,
and then he would be able to start practicing if he's up for
6
it.
games,
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So he could actually come practice after this week.
Okay, someone just said he was practicing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, but obviously misinformed.
Practice.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So now, and we never pick against the Eskimos. So what we usually have been doing now is doing prop bets.
Right.
On a stat, we've done time of possession, we've done passing yards, we've done rushing yards.
Return yards.
We've done return yards, which was definitely the under last week. Oh, God. I was so sad. 100. So did I. Yeah.
You picked under?
Yeah, I picked under.
Well, you picked over.
No, I picked under. 124.5. No, I said under. Yeah. We need to roll back the tape. I'm going to go over too, but that really was the average, so that's what I was going. Okay, so now we're going to we'll let our guest pick our stat for this week that we will set the prop bet on. We can pick the other games first, and I can let you think about it, and then we'll come back to it. All right, so our next game, of course, is the one of the other Labor Day classics, that we are getting to Winnipeg versus Saskatchewan first in Saskatchewan.
Yep.
Mike, who are you picking?
Well, I think had the news broken tomorrow, I might have had a different response to this one.
You don't say.
In Saskatchewan is
what news?
Yeah, I don't know.
There's nothing today. It was so
That's
quiet.
true.
Yeah, watch the Periscope. That was my plug. Yeah. Okay.
I think Saskatchewan has been playing very well. Cody Fajardo is making believers of a lot of people.
Absolutely.
I think Winnipeg played a solid game. Obviously, that defensive front seven was just outstanding. But I think their offense is taking a massive hit if they're not going to have their number one quarterback and their biggest weapon in Andrew Harris. So I see this one going to the rectangle.
Oh, so sad.
Yeah.
Kayla?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same position. It's really hard. I can only imagine for you as a player that it's very hard playing against Saskatchewan in Regina.
Yes.
But Saskatchewan's kind of creeping up to a whole nother level, and I hate to say it, but yeah, with that loss to I think I'm going to have to squeak out a Saskatchewan win.
Oh, brutal.
I know.
All right. Eddie?
Yeah, I'm going to have to, unfortunately, say the same thing. I think...
the guy who played for them last year.
I
got to say the same thing. Yeah.
I'm not the biggest Saskatchewan lover.
All right.
I'll be honest.
That's fair.
I think they're going to take it. It'll be interesting to see moving forward how well they continue to have as far as success goes. We'll see if it's sustainable with what Fajardo's doing. He's playing some really good football.
Yeah.
We'll see if it's sustainable for a full year. You know, as a player who's competed against him the past 3 years, I never would have thought in a million years this is how well he would have played.
Right.
So we'll see if it is something that is sustainable for a full season. But right now, with the news that broke today, I will have to say Saskatchewan definitely has the upper hand with Winnipeg not having their best player and their starting quarterback.
Yeah, very true. I am actually just going to call it right now and say that Saskatchewan gets a sweep next week. They're going to win both. One thing, and I know I don't usually give a lot of praise to Saskatchewan, but when I was watching that game, that little necklace that they kept handing to the guy who made the next big play, that team looks like they're having fun playing.
Makes a difference.
And I think that has a lot of influence from Coach Dickey, who I know we were all kind of like, can he be the head coach, or is he just a good special teams coach? But I think he's
starting to Winnipeg's coach.
Exactly. They're starting to find that balance, and I think they're just having fun playing.
Yep.
And yes, they have an advantage with obviously the players that are out on the Winnipeg side of the ball, but I think it's going to take a bit of a big catastrophe to not have two-game win for.
Well, going what you just said, if Nichols and Harris were both in, do you think you would have changed your call?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I mean, it's a bit of both, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I would. I wholeheartedly would have probably taken Winnipeg there. All right. Next one: Toronto versus Hamilton in Hamilton. Kayla, who are you picking?
Kind of have to go with Hamilton.
Kind of have to.
Kind of have to.
Okay.
Like, it's hard because I don't want Toronto to suck.
Okay.
But, I mean, and they're not sucking.
Oh, they're sucking.
But it breaks my heart to see, especially like I can empathize with fans because it's brutal.
Yes.
Brutal.
Both of them.
But I can't imagine being a player and having that.
It's not nice.
What?
Just saying Toronto's fan. They're although they've been doing much better.
They have been getting more people out. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, and the team is improving, but not enough to actually count.
All right.
There are some positives, but I mean,
there are.
Yeah.
There are.
Yeah. Eddie, who do you got? I know you're.
I'm going with Hamilton, but the more intriguing question is who is going to be the starting quarterback?
Yeah.
Is it going to be Bethel Thompson? Is it going to be Franklin? Is it going to be Caleros?
Yeah.
Who's it going to be for Toronto?
Do you think they would step up with Claros now?
If he's ready.
They bring him in for a reason.
I think if he's ready, they put him in does he last the whole game?
Does he last the series?
Ooh. I mean...
Sensitive.
It is. And I feel bad saying it, but because I never want to take away a guy's career, and I understand that. But
at this point,
I am truly worried if he goes in about him getting smoked, and all of us as fans are going to have to watch something very horrible go on that field.
Yeah,
and for the rest of his life.
Absolutely. Like I'm worried about it. Yeah. That's the thing. And I don't think that Macbeth played that bad in the game in Atlantic. I thought a couple of defensive gaffes by the Toronto Argos cost them that game. Yeah. They could have won that game very easily.
It was close,
very close. But no, I still think it. I think they go with Macbeth. But if Coloros is ready, they may try him.
So Franklin's not even an option.
I don't think so anymore.
As much as it pains him to say that.
It totally pains me to say that.
I don't think so either.
Yeah. I think Franklin is going to be in another home.
Well, I mean, his contract is up at the end of this year. He has refused to re-sign or do another extension. So.
Yeah.
Are we thinking Schooners?
Well, they won't be ready.
Another year away, so at least. So
that's Kevin Glenn.
2020?
That'll be Kevin Glenn anyway.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. Traveling Glenn.
Needs to be.
No, I think if I would not be terribly surprised to see Franklin go into Winnipeg
or Ottawa.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. I would not be surprised to see him go at all. Ottawa's in dire straits as far as the quarterback is concerned. Yeah.
Although Jennings looks somewhat decent. But
could he do it over a season?
Yeah, that's the thing.
We don't know. That's just it. It's amazing to see the regression after a 5,000-yard passing season.
No kidding.
But I mean, we've seen it before, right? I mean, years ago it was a guy named Casey Printers who lit the league on fire for BC in that first year. Went down to Kansas City, came back, and he just really wasn't the same.
He was a shell.
Couldn't do it.
He was a shell.
Couldn't do it. Yeah. All right. I'm picking Hamilton too. Yeah. I think this will actually be closer than we think. I don't think this will be the blowout this weekend. I think it'll be a closer game.
Hamilton. Yeah.
You had me excited though.
It'd be a blowout if it was Mazzoli.
Absolutely.
Not with Dane Evans.
Yeah, that's true.
This guy knows.
I agree. Yeah. She's a bit of a Mazzoli fan. Super fan?
Yeah, I'm just going to make it a sweep.
Okay.
This is definitely going to be a Hamilton win, I think.
Perfect. All right, and we're all picking the Eskimos, so now we just need a stat line to bet on. Got one for us there, Eddie?
I'll hold true to my guns with CJ Gable. Over under 81.5 yards rushing.
Ooh, he's even setting the line. I love it.
I like it.
Okay. 81.5. Hey?
You go first.
I have to go first. That seems unfair.
Well, you always pick it, so...
screw it. I'm going to be hopeful. I'm going to say over.
I like it. Any reason?
Nope. Just dumb
optimism.
Hope. Just absolutely blind faith. That's what that is right there. I'm going to go over.
Excellent.
Super fan?
I am also going to go over. I think it's going to be certainly far less than half in the first half. But then he's going to just start picking up momentum. He's going to get at least one longer run over 15 yards, and I think that's going to carry him.
He's going to start running through those holes provided by Matt O'Donnell, the Giant.
That's true.
Yes. Kayla?
An optimist. I, as well, will pick the over.
Wow.
I think he's going to ride the coattails of his more successful game in Calgary than the last time, and I think he's the type of player that competes with himself and needs to improve and better himself. So I got some high. Although I really want to see some Coops. I love Gable, but I want to see some Shaq.
Yeah, see if they dress both again. They did for that last Calgary game.
It's fun watching them both play because they're so different.
Yeah, definitely thunder and lightning, right?
Yeah.
Are you going to go over too?
Yeah, I'm going with the over.
Nice.
Yeah, just all right. I think it'd be very important for them to establish a ground game, to take some pressure off Trevor so he doesn't have to throw for 400 yards all on his arm.
That's true.
If you can get, 80 to 100 yards rushing, open up the play action, open up some deep balls, I think that'd be very important for the offense.
Excellent.
Apparently, I have to correct my stats. He didn't have a great game in Calgary.
At all.
At all? No, okay. What was it?
8 carries for 27 yards.
Beautiful. Yeah.
I
Okay.
thought
Problem was he didn't have many carries, and that was our
That's true.
problem.
That was our
That is a
problem, was that he didn't have the ball as much.
I
Yeah.
think I was thinking of last year when he did like that leap over that guy.
Oh, maybe that's what you're thinking.
We'll
of.
count that.
Okay.
That's what I
That
meant.
was an excellent one.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
No, you
Last
missed-
year's
you
game.
missed your comment. What game am I watching? Yeah, exactly.
Hey, at least this time I was
This time-
much more
this time you
aware
were
of
definitely
things.
prepared. Extra points for you. Yes. Okay, and our Pick'em League, Tina Banshee is still crushing it out front. I am 44th, and Mike is 14th. So
Oh, you
still doing very well.
Dang.
2
Well,
weeks in a
he's
row.
still-
At least I
he's
picked all the games this
Still
week.
fighting his way. That's good. CFPN Fantasy League. I moved to 9-2 after barely taking down Rod from Wood Cookie Sawcast. Mike, you fall to the Podfather, unfortunately. But this week, I get Mr. Steve from Safamod from the People's Podcast.
Are you undefeated?
No, I'm 9-2.
Oh,
Yes.
that's what you meant.
Yeah,
Okay.
9
I thought
wins,
you were
2
undefeated.
losses. Almost. Yeah, I had a couple of bad weeks. You get Travis.
I do.
Travis Curra from 2 and Out.
So what's my record right now?
Not great.
No.
No.
It's 3-8.
3-8. Okay.
What's his?
After going 2-0 to start the season.
Oh, okay. So it's you've had a bit of
Dwindled a bit?
you've had a bit of an Ottawa season
Yeah.
going on there.
Oh.
Yeah. Terribly sorry about that. Yeah. Stop starting Dom Davis. What's wrong with you?
Oh, I haven't yet.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not
Right.
yet.
Joe
I
Pow
do-
Pow picking your lineup? Or
Yes.
it's okay, that's what I thought. It's good. I'm glad you just admitted up front. Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Siri, heads or
Hey,
tails?
Siri, which one am I picking this week? Okay. Well, you know what? Hey, it's always worth trying. Yeah.
It can't be worse.
In the Pod League, Dr. J. Miller stays in first. I'm still in third. And
That's
Mike,
not
you're
even fair.
up to 47th.
See?
See? Moving up.
Dr. John Mill. That's just not fair.
No, I know.
Him
it's not
picking? Come
fair.
on.
That's like he knows things.
It's like he knows things.
It's not fair.
It's
at
what he
all.
does.
That's right.
He drinks and he knows things.
Yes. All right. Well, this was a blast.
Yes.
Thank you, Eddie, for coming down and spending some time and talking some football with us. We love it when you come down here. Where does everybody kind of find you and follow you and connect with you on social media and all those types of things?
My Twitter is Eddie_Steele97.
Perfect.
Instagram, I believe it's Real
Deal
Deal
Steele. I'm pretty sure it is.
I
yes.
believe it
Yeah.
is. Yeah, sometimes it's funny. I don't even remember what my own
Yeah.
handles are.
Just
Yeah.
search Eddie Steele.
Yeah, just
That's right.
that's what I say. Just type in my name, you'll find me.
All
It'd
right.
be like a
so-
wrestling name.
Yeah,
Real
yeah.
Deal
it-
Steele.
Real Deal Steele,
That's,
I know.
that's I've been told that before.
Yeah.
For
Really?
Sure,
Oh.
for sure.
Nice growl.
Yeah.
And everyone will find you at the tailgate pre Labor Day return.
That
With a
is
taco in a bag.
Absolutely,
Nice.
that is correct.
Excellent.
Hopefully, I can get on the pregame with the Ched guys again. And,
Beautiful.
yeah,
We'd
have a
love
good
that.
time.
Awesome.
There's some
We're
delicious
excited.
cupcakes as well.
Some delicious
yeah.
cupcakes. Yes.
Gluten-free
Oh, perfect.
cinnamon toast crunch.
Gluten-free cinnamon toast
Yes,
crunch?
indeed.
Oh, I knew it was going to be cinnamon toast crunch.
Something
but
for everybody.
Any
Oh
cookies?
my goodness. Well, I don't know if there's any cookies. Ask
ask.
Janelle.
I will.
Yeah.
I'll make a special
But
request.
we will likely have cinnamon toast crunch shots going on as
Yep.
well, so it'll be very good. It'll be an excellent combination.
Oh, they're so good.
I'm so excited. Where does everybody find you there, Commissioner?
At Duchess Lombardi.
Yes, and Superfan Mike.
At 56 Parkies.
Wonderful. And you can find me at Freepalicious and, of course, the show at Esk Empire Pod. Thank you again to Ryan from the Horsemen for coming on for the game preview and being the best villain ever. Follow him at BBCan Ryan and the show at CFL_Horsemen. That's MEN plural. And, of course, follow it, Pay It with Forward with Football as well on Facebook. Get those nominations into Quentin and Samantha.
Yeah.
It was really nice to meet that couple last week, coming
They were
over
great.
and getting a Kwaku shirt, and obviously excited to be there. And
Yeah.
nice to see more people getting involved in that. So, and they have a huge announcement coming. I believe it's September 1st. So
Oh.
make sure you stay tuned to their Facebook page there too. Make sure, of course, you check out all of the great shows on the Alberta Podcast Network at albertapodcastnetwork.com. Did I say that right?
No.
Let me try it again. AlbertaPodcastNetwork.com. There we go.
I'd buy a used car from you.
Make sure you find out all of our social channels as well. You can find everything at eskempire.ca. We'll be back next week, and again, it'll be on Tuesday night because we are going to record post-Labor Day game, but we need to drive back on Labor Day, so on
not
Tuesday night.
Not post-Blues, though, either.
I sure hope not. It's going to be post-Cheers. It's very exciting. So our question this week, is it time to win the first game and set up the sweep?
Absolutely.
For Eddie, Commissioner Kayla, and Superfan Mike, I'm Andrew. Remember, you can't catch footballs with your face, and we will absolutely talk to you next week.
Thanks for listening. Find more great shows like this at CF Pod Network on Twitter.